I would love to talk about the Courtney Kardashian shoot.
We shot it in her house.
Is the house insane?
Ridiculous. The hallway outside the bedroom was bigger than my flat. Like, it was insane. It was in a gated community, inside a gated community.
Do you think it's fair to make a judgment on someone based on what they're wearing? To assume they'll be a certain type of person?
Is it fair? No. Is it instinctive? Yeah.
You have styled and made wares for some very impressive people, some absolute gay icons and just general divas.
This is true.
So just to name a few, we've got Mel C, who is a very close friend of yours, am I correct?
Absolutely, yeah. I've been working with Melanie for about 5 years now, so I work as her creative director.
And we've got Paris Hilton.
Yeah.
J-Lo.
Yeah.
Courtney Kardashian.
Yeah. No contact. I had no contact with J-Lo.
Okay.
Paris, haven't been on set with Paris Hilton, but she sends the best DM voice notes. Every single one of them, she delivers all the hits.
Yeah.
That's how, like, says all of the things you want Paris Hilton to say.
Yeah.
In every single voice note.
Amazing. And not forgetting Beyonce. Yes. So that is an incredible list of amazing women that you have either styled or put on your own Graham Cruz wear on their body for a shoot. So you've kind of just like started going on with the story on Paris Hilton. I feel like I need to finish it. So
that was it. She just sends really cute voice notes.
When you say voice notes, do you mean like you have her mobile number, or is it on
Instagram? DMing on Instagram and sending voice notes. After she did the shoot and wore the thing that I made, she got in touch and was just saying lovely things.
Nice.
Like, really, really sweet.
Wow.
Really nice.
That must feel very cool to just have that like one-on-one sort of collaboration with one of these girls.
Yeah, it was just really cute. I wasn't expecting it because, the whole, with the stuff that I make myself, I have a PR company in London and one in LA, and they deal with sending it out to people and getting it into shoots. So sometimes I don't even know what's going to happen, like who's going to wear it or where it's going until the thing actually happens. Because as a stylist, I know that, you got put somebody in a dress for an event and you borrow 100 dresses, or you borrow, a rail full, and there's only ever one that makes it. So sometimes I don't know who's going to wear a thing, and the PR don't tell me because their chances are, lots of times it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So they're surprises, which was really nice to wake up to a picture of Paris and then a really cute voice note.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
So if we can just like break down what you do. So you, and I'm going to ask you to kind of like say it back to me, but
sure.
You are a stylist, but you also create your own bespoke pieces, which are these, you're famous in my eyes anyway, tell me if I'm wrong, for these sort of like sculptural metallic creations, like these bodices.
Sort of molded corsetry.
Yeah. So it's not particularly ready to wear stuff, it's more bespoke one-off pieces.
Yes and no. A lot of the sort of celeb stuff is one-off, big crazy versions of.
Yeah.
But then as a customer, you can buy a ready-to-wear, slightly more wearable. Depends where you're going and what kind of life you have. Everything is wearable.
Yeah.
And everything is ridiculous. Depending on the context. But it's not, you don't have to be a megastar making a music video to buy one.
Yeah. And what's your like journey in terms of, you've been a stylist for X number of years, but you've actually been creating your own stuff for how many years now?
Well, I've been a stylist for nearly 30 years, since like the mid 90s. And then, but I've always made things. I've always been really crafty. So I've always made things for jobs, for styling jobs, when, a client has haute couture dreams and a Primark budget.
Yeah.
And I'm like, right out with the sewing machine.
Yeah.
So I've always made stuff. And just before lockdown, I want to say, just before COVID, I made this bodice thing for a commercial job as a stylist. And a friend of mine who has a really cute store, I was just showing her a picture. She's like, oh, I could probably sell that in my shop. So I made her 3, and Paris Hilton and two supermodels bought the three of them, and it just kind of spiraled from there. So we never set out to start a fashion label.
Yeah.
It just kind of happened.
So when you say that they bought it, you mean that they
I
got
made them for a shop.
recommended it?
No, I made them for a store. So they walked into the shop and bought it off the shelves
Fuck, where's this shop?
in Ibiza.
Wow, I mean, like you couldn't have got a better person to walk
I
in.
know.
and love
It
you.
just, and then after that, then Mert and Marcus, the photographers, they have a house in Ibiza and they throw a big party every year. And the theme that year just happened to be metallics.
Right.
So then I sold a ton for that. And that kind of, the invite list to that party was kind of fabulous. So there was lots of really fabulous people wearing it. And then Burning Man happened and the theme that year was robots.
Okay.
So it all just kind of slotted into place
Yeah.
and snowballed.
Sorry, but I need indulging with these females you've worked with. So let's start with Melanie C. You're her main stylist?
I'm the only stylist
You're her only stylist?
and now the creative director. So I
Right.
kind of look after everything visual. Well, I mean, we get on really well. We've been working together for about 5 years. And it was actually Glenn Fussell from Sink the Pink.
Yeah.
When Melanie had done a Sink the Pink ball, I think. This is just before that last Spice Girls reunion tour.
Yeah.
So Melanie had done a Sink the Pink ball, and when her and her team were just chatting with Jin and Glenn and said that they were looking for a new stylist. And I was like, you should make her out.
Yeah.
Because we have very similar taste anyway, myself and Melanie.
Yeah.
When I met with her team about, will we hire you to do the shoot? They said, what would you do? And I said, well, I'd bring Sporty back.
Yeah.
Because I think after the Spice Girls, all of her solo material, if you look at the visuals, there was no Sporty Spice in that at all. There was no sportswear. It was, I mean, some of the records were quite rock orientated, but I think a lot of other stylists were trying to put their stamp on, trying to do something different and not just keep her in a tracksuit. But I'm like, that's the reason she was in a tracksuit in the first place, is because that's who she was.
Yeah.
No stylist came in at the beginning of the Spice Girls and told them what to wear. That was a genuine representation of them themselves. So like, well, let's just go back to that.
Yeah.
But who is Sporty Spice now
Yeah.
at this age, who's done really well for herself?
Yeah.
She's a fucking icon. So turn the volume up on everything.
Yeah.
We've been having lots of fun lately.
Were you a Spice Girls fan when you were younger?
No.
Oh, really?
No, I wasn't. Even when I went to the reunion tour, all my mates were like, how do you not know the words to every song?
Wow. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I think I suppose that was the late 90s. I was too busy doing other stuff.
But you see the reaction around her then. You must like, I was at Brighton Pride and she was stood in the same like, and I was like, fuck, there's a Spice Girl literally in the same vicinity as me. Like, you must notice the energy. Like, for you.
You do, yeah, but she's just so lovely and just so normal, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
She's northern, and very much so. And I'm from Dublin, and I always think the further north in this country, the more I feel like home. The people seem more like the people I grew up with. So we just get on really well, and you kind of it's easy to forget, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah.
That she is a Spice Girl.
Yeah.
Because she's just Melanie.
What do you think it is though? Like, I know that you're saying that you weren't a fan. What was that sort of fascination with gay men and the Spice Girls? What do you think that was so
I suppose the message of being unapologetically yourself.
Yeah.
And not giving a fuck what anybody else thought. I think that message is the one that resonated more so than anything else.
Yeah.
And there was catchy tunes and dance routines.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And cheeky girls, like the kind of girls that you wanted to hang out with on a Saturday night. You knew they'd be loads of fun.
Yeah.
I think that's what resonated.
So the other women that I mentioned at the start, I would love to talk about the Courtney Kardashian shoot. How did that come about and what was your involvement?
So I was in LA with a photographer friend. We were working on another project, and a really good friend of mine from Dublin is Courtney's hairdresser.
Okay.
He does all of the Kardashians.
What's his name?
Andrew Fitzsimons.
Oh, you're friends with him, yeah?
Yeah. We known each other since we were
Oh, nice.
teenagers. Dublin's a very small pool.
But he lives in LA now.
He lives in LA now.
Things have really worked out for him then.
Yeah, he's doing amazing things.
Wow, because I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's working a lot with Madonna at the moment.
Wow.
J-Lo, he does all the girls.
Yeah.
But we were just chatting and we like went out for a drink and he was like, oh, we should do something with Courtney while you're here. And we're like, yeah, all right. And we only had a couple of days that we were in LA and we had a really busy schedule of stuff we were doing anyway. So I think it was the Tuesday night where it was finally, okay, this is definitely going to happen. But we have to shoot her on Thursday morning is the only time available. Bear in mind, we had already got a full day's work on the Wednesday and I don't have any clothes for the shoot. I didn't know it's happening, so I'm not prepared for it. So Tuesday night, it was a definite, it's going to happen. It's going to happen on Thursday morning, but we're flying home Thursday lunchtime. So we had to pack, I had like just the Wednesday to pull the shoot together. But when you send an email and the subject says Kardashian Vogue cover, people turn up with clothes.
Yeah, right.
Like it happens real fast. So we shot on the Thursday and literally as we wrapped the shoot, we just got in the cab and came straight to the airport to come home.
Right, okay.
And we shot it in her house.
Yeah.
She was so lovely. Like really, really lovely. And it said to her, oh, have you seen the mood boards? Do you know what it is we're doing? And she said, oh no, but I've been told by Andrew that this is a really nice team and you all have your shit together. So you just tell me what to do.
Okay.
Like she was really, really lovely.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's almost surprising to hear because I would imagine that they're so surrounded by entourage and people all the time that everyone's invisible. So that's quite nice.
No, it wasn't like we were, as I said, we were in her house. It wasn't like there wasn't an entourage.
Yeah.
She was at home with her kids. And she was super respectful and really like up for it. And, oh, I'll take your advice on that. Okay, let's try. There was no negativity at all and no diva behavior whatsoever.
Are you a fan of the Kardashians prior to that?
I never watched the show.
No, so it wasn't like you were like, oh my God, I'm in a Kardashian house. There's her kid over there. Like it wasn't like fangirling about that.
No, not at all. Not at all. And we shot in the cinema in her house. We set up a little studio in the cinema. And then it was only after that I ever flicked through the program. And
yeah,
I'm like, oh, I've been there.
Yeah.
That was about it. No, I wasn't a fan.
Is the house insane?
Ridiculous. The hallway outside the bedroom was bigger than my flat. Like it was insane. It was in a gated community, inside a gated community.
No way.
It was hardcore. And I'm fuming that we had to go so quickly because literally, I mean, when we got there, we all had to sign waivers because they were filming the program. The Keeping Up with the Kardashians were filming while we were shooting. So towards the end of the shoot, they came on set and filmed part of it.
Okay.
But literally, as we were walking out to get in the car, all of the rest of the girls turned up to film the episode. And we're like, fuck. And we had like half an hour to stay more.
Did you get to see any of it?
Just people getting out of a car as we were getting into our own.
Yeah.
That would have been kind of interesting just to...
100%.
Just to see, does the dynamic change when now you're on show now.
So at what point did you have to like sign? I imagine that NDAs are insane. Like, you walk into Hidden Hills or wherever they live.
Like a waiver. So if we use you on the program.
Oh, okay. And you were like, yeah, fine.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah. I find like these worlds and celebrity spaces, like whenever I encounter them, like you must do it far more than me. I find it very bizarre. I do find it like another world and they do live in another realm. Or can you see through that and it's actually not as like fascinating and as incredible and otherworldly as people might imagine?
I don't think it's as otherworldly as people imagine. I mean, I always remember this girl who worked in production on Glastonbury, who I don't know what exactly she did, but she had a pass that just had the letter A on it and nothing else.
That's a good letter.
Everywhere we went, people it was like the parting of the Red Sea. She had access to everything and everywhere. But her new boyfriend was with her at the time, and he was getting very excited by people that we'd bump into along the way. And I always remember her turning around to him and going, "Everybody shits."
Yeah,
it's like, get over it.
Yeah.
It's just somebody else's job. Everything is relative. Everybody shits. We're all the same. It's just people. So I think very much for me in those spaces and in that world, people are just people.
I guess it's what does like that level of fame and having people surrounding you, stylists, makeup artists, or whatever, what does that do to a person? Like, how does that not affect you?
I think, I don't know. I think it depends who you are as a person in the first place. The people that I work with, on a regular basis, or work, people like Melanie, you just make sure that your team are lovely people. It's all very normal, we're going around to Melanie's house to do a fitting, or we're prepping to do a shoot, and we're sitting around the kitchen table, drinking tea, talking about life, just normal, and then it's like, okay, cool. Should we shimmy into that outfit and go make a music video? Yeah, all right.
But being Melanie C, she can't go to Tesco. She
does go to Tesco. She goes to Tesco. She gets the tube.
But yes, she can do those things, but without just a reaction. Like, it is impossible not to get a reaction. I wonder what life would be like.
I think like so. That. There's times when you don't always get a reaction because people are like, "Oh my god, she really looks like." Yeah. But it's Tesco, so there's no way it's her.
No.
And you can kind of get away with, there's no way that's a Spice Girl on the tube. It must be weird.
It must be weird
that, like, to walk into a room of strangers and know that everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
That's got to be weird.
So I suppose the top of the pyramid is Queen Bee herself. So
I didn't get to meet her.
You didn't get to meet her?
No, I wasn't on the shoot.
Can you talk us through even her asking for your outfit, or how did it work?
I got an email from the stylist saying, the subject saying Beyonce Tiffany's, can we have a call? Like, yes, absolutely, we can absolutely have a call.
Yeah.
And they just said, we really like your thing, we're doing a Tiffany's commercial, could you create something for it? They sent me pictures of the jewelry that was gonna be in the campaign, and then I designed something around it. We had very brief back and forth conversations about, tweaks of what I designed, and then I made them a couple. She has more than one. There's only one in that commercial. They said the other one they're holding for another thing, but sure, who knows? That was years ago. I'm sure they've moved on to something else now. And then sent it to them, and then I heard nothing. I got a phone call the night before the shoot asking how to make an alteration, because obviously it's not like, buying a dress that you run through the sewing machine.
Yeah.
They're like, how do we make it, this tweak on this? So I talked them through that. So then I'm like, oh, well, she's definitely wearing it.
Yeah.
It's the night before the shoot and they're tweaking it. It's definitely going to be in. And then months later, got a really nice email from Tiffany saying, campaign comes out today. It features your thing. Please look out for it.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was kind of.
Were you like, are you sure you don't need me to come and fit it on it?
Absolutely. I'm like, oh, I can make that alteration for you.
Yeah.
Had we been closer in LA, I would have most definitely suggested doing that. But that wouldn't happen.
Wow. I mean, that's just. I mean, to actually see it must be the when it's real is like. There's so much like ifs and buts, and if even that shot's used or whatever, but then see it in the advert,
and then when it actually comes out, and and it is the thing, it's proper pinch yourself. I've done loads of different things in my life. I've had loads of different random careers, all sort of entertainment-y related, but none of them have ever been a decision of, oh, this is what I'm going to do next. I still don't have a plan. I've never had a plan. I'm very much about what's happening right now. I don't really look back, and I don't look too far forward.
Yeah.
Because you miss all the good bits.
So nobody leaves here without talking about their love life.
Ooh.
You have a boyfriend?
It will be our 10th anniversary in April.
Oh, okay. 10 years of meeting or dating, or
10 years of dating.
Great.
10 years of dating. We met on Grindr.
Yeah.
We spoke on Grindr for 2 years before we met in the real world.
Okay. Did he not live in the same country or London or?
A 15-minute drive from where I lived.
In Dublin?
No, in London.
Oh, in London, but it was just like more of a
It just, I
friendly
don't know,
chat.
for whatever reason, we never met, but we had real conversations.
Right.
Because I think, obviously, we all know what Grindr is and how Grindr works and what Grindr is all about.
Yeah.
You don't talk to somebody for 2 years about dick pics, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we ended up having genuine conversations. And I think partly because we hadn't actually met in the real world, it's really easy to be really honest to a complete stranger, to somebody that isn't real. I haven't met you yet.
Yeah.
So you're not a real person yet. You're just that text bubble in my phone.
And there was no like, let's take this offline. Let's go and actually go for coffee and walk or something like that.
No, we just chatted for a really long time and just chatted. And it was lovely. And I always remember somebody else saying to me, I mean, it's not that I own, like, during those 2 years that Gavin and I spoke, we both saw other people and did other things, because it was just, we had met. It was just that's Gavin that I chat to on Grindr. That was what the relationship was.
Yeah. And
I always remember someone messaging me on Grindr, hi, how are you, or whatever, and me actually replying how I was.
Yeah. Okay.
And somebody going, you know, you're the only person who replies in paragraphs.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, no, I'm not. There's this bloke called Gavin that replies in paragraphs too.
Yeah.
And so we chatted for 2 years, and then we arranged to meet, and went on a proper dinner date the following night, and that was 10 years ago.
And it was just like instant connection from real life.
Well, from real life, yeah, because I'm like, I know loads about you.
Yeah.
You know, we knew a lot about each other and our lives up till that point.
That's nice.
It was really easy. Like, when we did meet, it felt that there was a huge connection because we've spent 2 years chatting.
And what's the secret to 10 years together?
Actually like each other.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely like each other, and make sure you have your own life.
Okay.
So we've been together for 10 years. We go out, we travel, we live together, but we both still have our own lives. I have my group of friends. He has his friends. Our friends merge, and there are lots of crossovers, but there are clubs and parties or events or holidays or places I want to go that he has no interest in. So I'll go and do that. And he does the same with his.
And has that always been the case, or did you
always
have to figure that out?
No, it's always been the case. We're both fiercely independent. And I think neither of us were necessarily looking for a partner. And I think that's a huge mistake people make. When you're looking for someone, to fill a void. There's a hole somewhere that you think somebody else is going to fill. And they're never going to fill it, because they'll never fill it exactly the way that you need them to fill it, because you need to fill that in your own. So we're both fiercely independent, and we're really happy single in our own lives. So when we met, it was you're not filling a hole, you're adding to my life. And I think that's always been the thing. So, like, with a previous partner, we had a business together, we socialized together, we lived together, and it was, you know, after a while, it was, well, what did you do today? Exactly the fucking same thing you did, because I was standing right beside you.
Yeah.
Whereas Gavin and I have very separate lives in a way, so that we have a lot to talk about. You know, we talk about our holidays and our friends and, you know, all the stuff. I think you lose a lot of people in a long-term relationship. You become part of a we, and you lose the bit of yourself that made you, and that's generally the thing that the other person's attracted to. I've had a life before Gavin, and I have stories before him, and then it's really shit then if the only stories I have after him include him, because then what am I talking about with him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean. And you're still discovering things about each other, which is exciting, in terms of, like, you know, if you go on some job for 2 weeks in LA without him, and then it's like coming back and there's new meat to talk about.
Absolutely. There's well, this is what I did. Now I have some stories.
Yeah.
As opposed to being stuck by each other at all times. And, or you see couples who have to ask permission to do this thing, or is it okay if I go out with my friends?
Yeah.
I would never ask Gavin if it was okay if I went out
You'd
with my
already be
friends.
out.
I would just tell him, oh, I will
Yeah.
be home on Friday night for dinner.
Yeah.
I'm going out. And he'll be the same. Like, oh, I'm not going to be home that weekend. I'm going to Barcelona with blah.
I want to talk now about fashion. So I went to an exhibition recently, the Naomi exhibition.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it was good. It was really interesting. And what I kind of left the exhibition thinking, and I discussed this previously with somebody else that works in fashion, is that I couldn't help but notice that all of the garments in the collection were designed and created by male designers. Obviously, there will be some female ones in there, but the vast majority were of men. And it got me thinking that men, especially gay men, have been styling and treating beautiful women as dolls and their creations for years and years and years and years. So why do you think it is that gay men have been so inspired by beautiful women and like femininity and gorgeous things? And why are we, low-key obsessed with divas and just powerful women?
Because maybe for a really long time, because women weren't allowed to be powerful. For a really long, it's really not that long ago when women weren't allowed to have a credit card on their own or vote or whatever. It's kind of maybe because women weren't allowed to be powerful, and nor were gay men, that those as a community we decide, well, you can't help us, but we can help you by giving you power in your wardrobe and having power by becoming dressing as this powerful woman, giving her power in the boardroom, as it were. Sort of, we will help you, arm you to deal with the misogynistic male-driven world.
It's a perfect partnership, isn't it? It's two suppressed groups of people coming together and kind of elevating each other in a sense.
To beat the oppressors.
Yes.
Play them at their own game.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to treat us like sex objects. Well, we're going to look like this and it's going to blow your fucking mind.
Yeah.
And thus we will regain the power.
And I think another layer to that is the suppression of femininity with gay men. So like we've wanted to play with the dolls, we wanted to dress,
and have so projected it.
And so when we actually become adults, if we then get the opportunity to make beautiful things and to feel like one with a woman and finally get to dress them and trying to live our.
But that's what I was saying. And then I think now the contemporary evolution of that then is we're all, the world is way more open to what the idea of what a man looks like or what men's fashion looks like.
Yeah.
So now it's like the years of pumping all of that creativity into sort of female shaped femininity is now working its way into what's considered men's fashion.
And it's amazing how clothing has that power.
It's so powerful. It's so powerful. It really, really is. And for me, when I'm dressing a celebrity for a thing, yes, what it looks like is really important. Of course, what it looks like is really important. But how that person feels in it is way more important.
Yeah.
Because you can feel amazing in the simplest thing and feel like shit or overdone in the most complicated, incredible haute couture thing. But if it isn't right for you, for the thing that you're doing right now, in that room, if that's too much or not enough, or you don't feel enough, or you feel too much, then the power is gone. So I think clothing is so, it is such a huge tool that a lot of us neglect to use to its fullest extent.
If I'm wearing Doc Martens, I'm having a different day to if I'm wearing trainers. Like without
absolutely,
a doubt.
Absolutely. I'm in cowboy boots today.
And that
I'm
must
having
make
a
you feel
very different day than a pair of trainers. You hold yourself differently.
Yeah.
Even and for me, it's I'll try on looks with the client, or a friend will be like, "Oh, what do you think of this?" And my boyfriend will be like, "What do you think of these trousers?" I'm like, "Put the shoes on."
Yeah.
I can't tell what it looks like without the shoes. And they're, client be like, "Oh, it'll just be like a black heel." I'm like, I need to put it on.
Yeah.
I need to see it. I need to see how you are now going to hold yourself in the whole thing. How does it make you feel? What's it giving off? And that, the smallest thing, like you said, a Doc Marten versus a trainer in the same outfit, but you just change the shoe, you'll feel completely different.
Yeah.
So I need to see all of it together before I can figure out whether it's worked or not.
I feel like in terms of feeling, shoe is the thing that changes my mindset more than anything.
It's literally the thing that grounds you.
Do you agree?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
Like the height, the thickness of the heel,
the style of it, what it is. I wore these jeans yesterday with a pair of loafers. Totally different experience with these jeans than there is today.
Because a pair of flip-flops will immediately relax you versus like
a shoe.
A shoe,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, completely changes. But it is the thing that literally connects you to the ground and sort of builds it from that up. A lot of times I'll start the outfit with the shoe. I feel amazing in these shoes. These shoes make me look like XYZ. Let's start there. They make me hold myself this way. You know, even on a photo shoot, if we're just doing a headshot, still have to put the shoes on to feel the power of the whole look.
So talking about gay men and fashion, there's some sort of stereotypes or cliches or however you want to call it of what gay men like to wear. The Tron glasses. Tron? Is that what it's called?
You mean like
Tron?
a wraparound?
Yeah. What was that show? Is it called Tron?
Tron, the movie.
Exactly. Yeah. Tron glasses. And I wonder, what is it about? I feel like we kind of like utility wear, don't we? Heavy belts. There's like buckles on things.
All the stuff.
Yeah.
Is it the magpie-ness?
What is that we like about it?
We want all the bits. Does it come from that idea of like hyper masculinity, of that like uniformy,
maybe
military? I mean, you see a lot of those sort of influences.
Yeah.
And it's all tough, or it's motorcycle culture, or it's sort of things that are traditionally seen as hyper masculine. You know, the most sort of masculinely, traditionally masculinely dressed men are usually the gay men.
Yeah.
It's that sort of reclaiming of the, call me a sissy, do you? Well, look at my beret.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think it's fair to make a judgment on someone based on what they're wearing? To assume they'll be a certain type of person?
Is it fair? No. Is it instinctive? Yeah. I think we, you know, it comes from a very ancient place inside of our brains that we assess situations and we assess people. You make split second, you make split second
judgment presumptions.
They happen. It sort of happens instantaneously inside your brain. Obviously, if you're self-aware, you can allow yourself. You can be self-aware enough to ignore those things. But there is something primal in us that is assessing the situation, the people that, is this person a threat? I think I'm talking like way deep in the back of your brain. They're the things. So we make those assumptions immediately, whether we like it or not. And I think we should all remember that and use that to our advantage. Use that as a tool to shape what that very first thought is going to be. If I'm going into a meeting and I need you to take me seriously, I'll make sure that I dress in a way that from the moment the door is opened, your gut instinct, that trigger in the back of your brain, has taken me seriously immediately. And then you listen to the crap I'm going to say and realize there's nothing serious about it at all. But you know what I mean? It's just, you shape it from the get-go.
Totally.
I think use it.
Because when I saw you waiting outside on the phone, I was like, oh, he looks so cool today. It's like, that shirt's so nice. Like, this outfit is like really, like fun. Do you know what I mean? It looks like, very cowboy inspired. But like, I thought all of those things within seconds.
Without even thinking about it.
And then in my head, I thought like, oh, he's got such great personality. He's so experimental. Like, how does he have the effort to put all of this effort into what he wears, his wardrobe? Like, I had so many thoughts. I don't know if everybody else has that.
But without even thinking about any of those things, you thought about all those things in an instant.
Whereas if you were in a black t-shirt and some like,
you would have thought, oh, Graham's here.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I think we should all be more aware that everybody's doing that at all times, whether, you know, subconsciously or consciously. So use it as a tool. How do you want people to perceive you in this? Do I want to stand out in this room? Do I want to disappear into this room? What do I want to happen?
But does that take a lot of effort though?
I don't think so.
to like put together these looks to like get across the idea that you are a certain type of person or feeling a certain way?
Well, I mean, that's so the trick to that is how does that outfit make you feel? Wearing that black suit with those shoes and those glasses and that shirt and that tie make you feel super powerful. That's generally what that's going to give.
I would say that I wear, though, like a black t-shirt every day of my life because I can't really be bothered to think about what I'm going to wear that day. But when I do dress something if I wore something special, like if you'd have given me this in my size, I'd be sat here now completely different. Like, this is fun, I'm living a different life.
I mean, no, but again, we should all have more fun with that and live those different lives.
Yeah.
Every day. But we all, you know, for a really long time, I only wore a white t-shirt and a white t-shirt and a jazzy pant.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I wore. In the same Adidas, a different pair of trousers and a white t-shirt was my uniform for a while. But even at that, I think it's important that you're aware of not just what the outfit is, but what people forget. The huge element of your outfit is you in it. Something could look sensational on somebody else, and even in your size or tailored to fit you exactly like it fits them, it's still you in it. What does Jon bring to the outfit? What does Graham bring to the outfit? I know I bring lots of tattoos and jewelry that I don't take off. So regardless of what it is I wear, I'm always going to slightly look like the Cuban drug dealer version of a cowboy, or the Cuban drug dealer version of a fireman, or whatever it is.
Why Cuban drug dealer?
Because I look a little bit like a Cuban drug dealer.
Have you been told that? Have you?
Many times.
Oh, really?
It's the shaved head, the moustache, the tattoos, and the jewelry.
Yeah.
But they're constants. They're things that I don't change. They're in all of my outfits involve my tattoos and my jewelry and my bald head and my moustache.
Coming from somebody that feels like he could express himself far more in what he wears, partly maybe, well, hugely to do with I can't be bothered to go out and buy loads of new clothes and experiment in that way. But also maybe there's like an element of fear in terms of like how to express myself more. What would your advice be to people who feel like they would like to try and experiment more? And
fucking do it.
Where would they start? Like, where, speaking from myself, like what would I do first to like push?
Buy things that bring you joy. Buy things that genuinely bring you joy when you put them on, or that make you feel fantastic. And you know you look great in a black t-shirt, and a black t-shirt makes you look great. Try something that makes you feel great.
That's not going to come from an H&M though, is it?
Absolutely. Why isn't it? I think like people that I know with genuine style, their clothes come from the high street, vintage stores, and every now and then you might treat yourself to a thing. But I mean, I don't buy fancy designer clothes, and I never throw anything away.
Okay.
Because you just never know when you might need that. Like I pulled these pants out of a storage bag. I bought these in the early noughties, but I never threw them away. And obviously, like most of us, my body shape has changed and fluctuated. So I hang on to everything because you just don't know when you're going to be fat or skinny. And you need to pull out, where's that fat bag from the 90s? Where's that skinny bag from the noughties? So I hang on to everything. Secondhand boots, secondhand shirt. I buy a lot of vintage clothes. I don't do a lot of shopping for myself because that's kind of a busman's holiday. Yeah. I don't get much joy on, let's go to town and buy some stuff. I usually either have an idea of, wouldn't it be funny if I had an outfit that made me look like blah. So I will be on the hunt for the things to make that character, or I'll just stumble upon things on a job or on my travels. I'm out shopping for somebody else and there's, that's a cute t-shirt. I'll add that into the pile.
Well, I'm definitely going to buy some cowboy shoes after this.
Go to
they look awesome.
Hey Cowboy, Brick Lane.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. That's where you should start.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Best cowboy vintage store in town.
Nice. Well, Graham, thank you so much for chatting to me. I've really loved this chat.
Thank you.